All right, guys. I'm gonna be giving my review of Fallout 76. This is the first review I've ever done for any game. So yeah, where to begin? I think the first thing that comes to people's mind is the bugs of this game, right? And I'm giving this review as someone who has put in how many hours is it now? Where is it? 81 hours, right? 81 hours I've played. I'm level 54 right now. So I haven't done too much of the end game, but I've experienced a lot of the game for the most part. And I'm coming in as someone who has never played Fallout 76 until today. Not today, but today's like 8/14/2020. Um, and so my experience is completely post Wastelanders. 10 out of 10, you think? Completely post Wastelanders. So I may be a little biased because I didn't experience those early gameplays, but in my experience, what the game is like to this day, if we take a look at the bugs, yes, the game is still very much full of a lot of bugs. A lot of the bugs that you see, that I've seen actually, most of the time, is just stuff like this, right? If we go in here, we could probably find these guys, right? They're laying on the ground, looking like they're dead. Maybe that's not a bug, but the bugs that you'll see with them is when they're standing there as an enemy that you can target, that you can shoot and take all their life down, but they're missing their head and they just stand there and they can't completely die. Those are the weird bugs that the game still has quite a lot of. I mean, stuff like I've had events where it's like waves of enemies and oh my goodness, turret, kill him. It's like waves of enemies, and instead of the enemies coming in as a wave like they're supposed to, they just fall. Like all the enemies fall on top of the objective at the same time when they spawn, right? So weird bugs like that. Nothing that's really prevented me from continuing to play the game, right? I've never run. Oh well, I mean, aside from the game crashing, which has been very infrequently. So it seems to me that they've gotten the game fairly stable, right? Stable enough to play, stable enough to enjoy. So like onto like quests and stuff. Again, this is post Wastelanders. The quests very much feel like something you find in a lot of other Fallout games, right? Any other Fallout game, Fallout 4. I mean, a lot of people don't like the story of Fallout 4, obviously, but there's a lot of comedy to them. There's some seriousness, some dark moments. And it's good in my opinion. They took some time. They didn't just do constant like fetch quests or something you'd see in a lot of online games. And then they have the events to boot, right? So they have the events that would just pop up randomly on the map. See if I can find one here, like this right here. And it'll, most of the time, it's weird. Sometimes it'll tell you like what level you should be for this event. But those are pretty interesting too. Like you'll have a ton of the other players come in here and do the event with you. And those can actually be pretty fun, pretty comical, pretty exciting. So I think as far as like stuff to do, there's quite a bit of it. And there is like the end game stuff, right? Someone just dropped a nuke right here on this place. I don't know what they did it for, but glad I wasn't standing there. They'll drop a nuke down here for like the Scorched Beast. You can get in on that at a very low level, and possibly get enough damage in there to get some XP. So I mean, there's an abundance of stuff to do from my perspective, right? You can go take over a workshop and like farm the resources there. There's been times where I'm taking over the ammunition workshop over here, right? And someone who previously owned it, who left the server, left a ton of defenses, right? It was super full of defenses, harvesters, stuff like that. So I went in there, took it over for nothing, and just sat there for days. And then someone came in and tried to take it from me, super high level, and he killed me, but I ran back in there. And I just like hid because he couldn't take it over. So I mean, there's some fun interactions like that. So to me, it seems like there's a lot of stuff to do. The levels, it seems like it's very easy to level up, right? If you jump into events, especially if you're getting that rested bonus, you're opening lunch boxes or around other people that are opening lunch boxes, getting that XP bonus, and you just jump in some events, you can fly through some levels, right? You can get like 10 levels in an hour if you're really working on it. The perks, so if we take a look at those, one thing that I really noticed, the controls are still really weird. One thing that I really noticed is they don't really indicate, at least maybe I missed it, but they don't really indicate from the start that you can get your special stats over 10, right? Because no other Fallout can you do that. So I initially was creating my character with the fact that you can only get it up to 10 in mind, until I looked it up and you can actually get it all the way up to 15, which I was like, okay, I didn't see that indicated anywhere. So that completely changes like how you build. The perk cards I think are interesting. It kind of feels like it's lacking stuff from Fallout. But at the same time, I think you can create a bunch of interesting combinations. But you can definitely tell that there's stuff that like reigns supreme in the meta, right? So you have starch genes, everyone's rocking mutations, evasive. I think that's the one everyone's getting. No, not evasive. There's one, serendipity. This one right here. You see a majority of the players using rads to keep their health below 30%, and they're using all the perk cards that give you a bunch of bonuses when you're at low health. So you can definitely see that there maybe needs to be some balance there. Yep, it's to be expected though. Like this is their first online game, and they're trying to bring over main Fallout game stuff. Some of that stuff is just not going to work in an online game, especially a game with PvP. Let's see, like on that also is like armor and weapons, right? So armor's interesting. I love that you can just put on outfits over your armor. So I'm the space cowboy here, damn it, and I don't have to wear the stupid crappy looking wasteland armor, right? I can run around as a spaceman and do my thing and still have enough armor to survive the content, right? You can do outfits, you can jump in the power armor. The power armor has cool paint jobs, stuff like that. There's a like end game ultra sight style armor that's going on. I still haven't figured out how to put that together. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of tutorial stuff going on to figure out what to really do as far as like optimizing your character. You just kind of got to figure it out maybe by friends or looking it up online. And then weapons, like there's the expected Fallout weapons. Majority of them are being taken from Fallout 4. One issue that I'm seeing is that it seems like the big Gatling-like weapons are like reign supreme, right? I realize that I need to use this if I want to fight the boss at the end, right? I never really have ammo for the guns I want to use because I just blast them really quickly because it seems like they're not very competitive. If you can get some legendaries, you can probably keep them competitive, but it seems like you're better off just getting some fusion cores and then throwing on a Gatling gun at the end game. I'm sure there's probably some really high-powered single-shot rifles you can use, especially if you're using stealth. But if we also take a look at like Fallout 4, it's kind of already like that, right? When you're running a solo Fallout game, you have your guns that you use for smaller enemies, you have your guns that you use for bigger enemies, right? I don't know if that really works for a multiplayer game, if that makes sense. Like, I don't, like because basically you'll just want to use the big gun. You'll want to use the big gun all the time because you're trying to claim enough damage on an enemy to get the experience. You're trying to kill the player who's trying to take your workshop, whatever it may be. It seems like you're always going to want to use the big gun in multiplayer, which kind of makes the other guns lackluster. They're cool, don't get me wrong, but it just seems like you're not going to be competitive as far as like even PvE or PvP if you're using anything but these giant ass guns. So on to camp building. Look at our beautiful camp here. It definitely needs some work. One issue that I've had is I feel like I've barely used, put a lot of stuff down here. I have a few decorations on the walls. I have, I have 3 stories. I have some, I have some turrets on the walls. I have very few power connectors, right? And my budget is almost maxed out. Granted, they do give me a small area to build in, so I should be able to fit like, a small little camp in here, which I'm probably gonna have to redesign. But it feels like the budget could be a little higher as far as building, and I'm sure that that's for like server capacity reasons, saving data. But I think it could be higher. Beta, what's going on, man? I think that might be fixed though when they bring in the cells. So for anyone who doesn't know, they say they're planning on, who knows when we'll see it, they're planning on giving us the ability to create interior cells in our camps, meaning you'll slap maybe like a basement door down and that'll bring you into an interior cell that's instanced from the overworld. And hopefully that'll give us a much larger budget. I know that's definitely going to bring me back to build a beautiful, interior little bunker base. So hopefully that gives us a nice, beautiful budget there. But the decorations are, I'm really happy with the decorations for this. This wallpaper is something you get from like a season reward. You get like random plans throughout the game to get all the various decorations, most of them. Right, and some of them are hard to find, so you kind of have to build your camp as you go. Oh, Santa, are you gonna make me do this with the Vault Boy map? No, I'm gonna put that on afterwards. All right. Yeah, camping. The camp building, I think, could be a little better if we had a higher budget. Other than that, I think it would work. I know they're gonna do some improvements with like trying to do double-sided walls, because as of right now you can only place a wallpaper on the inside of the wall, so you're stuck with the design of the exterior, whatever wall piece you have the plan for. And I know there was a bug that a lot of camp builders were were using to do wallpapers on both sides. So yeah, I think they're gonna do something to make it so that you guys can actually just do wallpapers on both sides, double walls as they called it. So on that, most of the good decorations come from the controversial Atomic Shop, which I apparently don't know how to get to. The controls are really weird. Might I add that the controls, I mean, granted, like, the controls are very different on, like, every Fallout game. Not very different, there's some changes, but this one is weird, right? To get in your menu, you hit escape, it always takes you to your map, right? You hit M, it takes you to your map as well. And then you have to hit Z to get to your menu, right? This is keyboard, granted, I don't know what it is on the console. That's just really weird to me. Like, why doesn't escape just take me to the menu? I have M for the map. Just take me to the menu. So anyway, if you go to the Atomic Shop, you have stuff like scrap kits and repair kits. These are really just convenience, right? If you're running around in the wasteland and you don't want to, and you can't find a freaking workbench and your favorite gun is broken, the repair kits are awesome. You guys with the mask. So yeah, these are just really convenience. The scrap kit as well, you get over encumbered, it's a pain in the ass, so you just pop a scrap kit and it scraps your shit, and I think it might send it to your stash as well. I don't remember. I didn't even put the timer on. I'll put it on later. But the most of it is just like you have icons, right? You have emotes. And they're not very high priced. you can accumulate atoms fairly quickly just doing challenges, right? I played for probably like 15 hours, and I had enough to buy a 1,200 point pack that gave me those plant death claws in the front of my hideout. But you'll see a lot of the decorations, the cool decorations, come from the atom shop. But you can still get them without actually paying good money or paying any real money, right? It seems like the atom shop is a little weird though, because it seems like some of the stuff is only available um, some of the time, right? Stuff will disappear from the atom shop, new stuff will appear. I think they just like weekly cycle what's in the atom shop. So if you see something like this week that you want and you need to save up, and then next week will roll around and it's not there anymore, that's annoying. And then this music will come on after being in the atom shop for like 2 or 3 minutes. It doesn't come on right away, which is really weird. But yeah, so I don't really have a problem with the atom shop. It's just cosmetics, really. You know, you have those quality of life things. Where the real play to win comes in, I think, is the other thing here, right? Fallout First. So Fallout First is their service you can pay like $100 a year, $13 a month for. And so what that gives you is it gives you a camp, like a camp that you can just throw down anywhere you are. Anywhere you are, you just hit a button. You can throw down a camp. Sometimes you gotta find a place to put it. Anyway, throws down this camp. You can see in there you have a stash, and then another thing that comes with Fallout First is a scrap box. You walk up to the scrap box, you hit a button, it takes all your scrap, salvages it, throws it in the box, and the box is bottomless, right? So you never run out of space on that. The reason I say this is kind of pay to win is because I kind of hit a wall, right? Before I had this, I hit a wall where my box was full of scrap, right? And I needed this scrap. I needed it for repairing my crap, to build the stuff I wanted in my camp. And I just didn't have enough space in my stash, in my inventory. I couldn't get rid of any of the stuff in my inventory because I didn't have room in my stash. So I hit this wall of like, okay, either I get rid of a bunch of crap that I need or want. Obviously, I don't need it. I wanted it. Or I get Fallout First. So I was like, that kind of sucks. With this, you also get like, I think it's 650 or 1,650 points in the Atom Shop to spend. You get a couple emotes, a couple icons. For the money, I don't know if it's really worth it. You never know. Me either. This is the random event going on. This guy. What the hell? But yeah, so it to me it kind of sucks. Like, they should just make the regular stash bottomless for scrap. It seems like they're kind of forcing you into getting Fallout First, but I mean, it's $13 a month. I'll pay it every now and then. I guess you can pay it, and then like if you don't pay it next month, all your scrap will still be in there. You can take it out, but you can't put stuff back in. This is the scrap box right here. This is a regular stash. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. So end game we kind of went over. I haven't done too much end game, other than the Scorched Beast. I just kind of hit end game with that. Replayability. So I think the real replayability in this is, again, I haven't done the end game. I think there's potential for fun interactions with other players, right? So once you do all the quests, maybe you get all the gear you want. Obviously, you see the levels never end, so we have a level 423 in this thing. So I guess you could just keep leveling. You hit a limit of how many points you can put in. You can move those points around after level 50. But I think the fun stuff is going to be the interaction with other players. So I think the end game is real community driven. And that's actually, I think, what's going to bring me back to this game. I'm going to continue to play this game. because of that potential, as well as they have these seasons, right? So if we go here to, this is the first season they've done, is the legendary run. And you know, you just go down the path, you do the specific daily and weekly challenges to get points, and you get these rewards, right? You get a stack of caps, or you get some atoms, or you get some paint, some perk cards. I'm really going for this thing right here, so I'm gonna come back even when I'm not playing this on stream, and I'm gonna work on this, right? This is gonna keep me coming back. I'm gonna hit the eventual final rewards, and from there, it's, you know, it's wait for the next season, it's play with the community, whatever it may be, if I do jump back on this. And I think that's what's going to bring players back. Little history lesson that I wasn't aware of is right now they have, okay, I'm taking this off. Taking this off. Right now, they have in the game a battle royale mode. I'm sure plenty of people have read about this when they were bringing it out. They brought out the battle royale mode because they were a little upset that not as many people wanted to initiate in PvP as they thought, right? What they replaced with this battle royale mode was survival mode, and from what I know, survival mode was basically adventure mode, where you're in here playing the game, hanging out with other players, but anyone could run up and just take your ass out, right? They could take your ass to town, make you their bitch, whatever they wanted to do, steal your shit, right? It was survival mode, right? No holds barred, do your thing, right? And so I think Bethesda figured, like, there's not a whole lot of people playing this mode. We want them to PvP. Let's put this battle royale in there. In my opinion, I think that was an awful decision. One, this is a Fallout game, and there are plenty of games that are specifically designed to be a battle royale, right? There are specific battle royales are right there. That is an entire game in its own, right? And that takes development focus away from the rest of the game if you're trying to focus on this battle royale that you made, right? Sure, okay, they proved that they can do it. That's not a big deal, though. Lots of people have done battle royales. I don't think forcing like a specific PvP mode is the way they should have fixed that, right? I think they should have kept survival mode and given an incentive for people to play survival mode over just the adventure mode. And I think that would have brought more people in. And I'm going to use a game like Sea of Thieves as an example for this, right? Sea of Thieves forces everyone to be in the game together, and they can lose their shit. They can get their shit taken from other players, whatever it is. It started off a little choppy, just like this game. But it's actually grown, and people have grown to actually love that concept. And it does make for some very fun and like fun content, right? Fun content for streamers to do, or YouTube makers to do. And that just drives more traffic to the game, right? I think survival mode was kind of a sleeper mode. I think they should have let it grow, let it build up popularity. Again, like put more incentives for people to play it over adventure mode, and I think it would have grown to be kind of the PvP community that they wanted. And there was people that played it. There was a lot of people that played it. I found a petition online for people wanting to bring it back, and it had like 3,000 signatures. So clearly there are a few people that wanted to play it. Maybe you just didn't need to have so many servers of it as adventure mode. But yeah, someone send that to Bethesda. Someone send that. We don't need a nuclear winter mode. I don't want my dailies to be tied in nuclear winter. I never go and do these, right? They give me a specific daily that I have to go in there to nuclear winter mode. Granted, like I've done it twice in this game, and I won the second one. Never won a battle royale in my life, but still, I don't want to go into nuclear winter mode. I want to play adventure. I want to play survival. And when I'm a high level, I want to roll up on some people, and if they don't like me, they shoot me in the face, and we go to town and we do a little dance, we do a little rumble. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go over here and shoot someone 50 times and they turn around and look at me like I'm stupid and just walk away and keep doing their quest. Right? I mean, yes, there is the workshops that forces PvP, right? If I want to go take this over and this dude was standing in this area, I'd have to kill his ass for it, right? And that was the same deal that was going on with the ammunition thing. That dude had to find me and kill me, but I wouldn't let him, right? Because I was just farming the ammunition thing, so I just hid in the bush. He never found me. He gave up on life. But yeah, so that's kind of my review. I think for me, it's a fun game. I'm having a good time, and I'll definitely revisit it for the things I said. And I think it definitely has potential. So, yep.